Alrighty, so we got an interesting one here. Kelvin Gastelum coming down the rankings to come fight Ian Heinisch. So Heinisch will be coming in with a 2-inch height advantage. Kelvin Gastelum coming off 3 losses in a row. I'd say he's smaller than he's a small 185er. Heinisch isn't too big either, but he's definitely a bigger 185er than Kelvin Gastelum. So we'll get into the striking of these two. On the feet, in my opinion, it's fairly easy to tell what's going to go down in this one. So Heinisch, he usually comes in with that big overhand right, steps in, or does a stutter step, then he dips his head, and then he starts on the overhand right. So a seasoned striker and a good boxer like Kelvin Gastelum is just going to read that real easy, and just counter with that slip 1-2 that he likes to do, or just the slip 2. He's got really fast hand speed, does Kelvin Gastelum. And I'd say that slip 1-2 is definitely his best weapon. And I could see Heinisch getting caught with that over and over again in this one. And most of Heinisch's offense, I'd say about 80% of his boxing offense, is that step in right overhand. And a guy like Kelvin Gastelum's just going to read that real quick and start countering it. So other things for these guys, Kelvin Gastelum normally comes in with a forward pressure. I'd probably say he'll be the one on the front foot, maybe, because Ian Heinisch doesn't like taking a backward step either. But Kelvin Gastelum, he'll stay on the front foot, usually relies on head movement instead of footwork to avoid strikes. That's just basically so he can keep that forward pressure going, and he doesn't have to take any backward steps or anything like that. Another thing about Kelvin Gastelum, he doesn't check leg kicks. Heinisch he's not a heavy leg kicker, but he does mix it in every now and then, so I'd like to see him throw a few of those in this fight, because Kelvin Gastelum just doesn't check it. Very heavy on the lead leg, as he is a boxer. And that'd be one of my paths to victory for Ian Heinisch if he were to let that off in this one. Even on the ground, I'd probably give the advantage to Kelvin Gastelum. He's got a good sprawl on his double legs in the open. He will give up his back to get back to his feet though, when he does get taken down. And that burnt him versus Jacare, and I think Jacare controlled him for the whole round after he gave his back, and he was able to get other dominant positions over Kelvin Gastelum in that fight as well. He tends to give up dominant position fairly easily. Like he'll get his guard passed quite frequently. For Ian Heinisch, he looks to get back to his feet immediately after he gets taken down. As soon as he gets taken down, he starts scooting his butt over to the fence, and then uses the fence for a get up from there. When he tries to implement some of his own takedowns, he doesn't tend to set them up, which he could do definitely with that right hand, because opponents would be expecting that right hand once he does that entry that I was talking about before. So if he mixed it up and actually shot a takedown instead of throwing the right overhand, then that could actually bring some variety and some bit of mystery to his game. Whereas it's at right like his game right now is very easy to read, in my opinion. Another thing he'll do is that he'll shoot or clinch up when he's heavily pressured, or when he's tired. Or, sorry, not when he's tired, because he's got pretty decent cardio, but when he's hurt. So say if someone hits him with a good shot, he'll look to clinch, or he'll look for a double leg immediately, pretty much. Like, he even clinched up against Shoeface once Shoeface was pressuring him real hard and hit him with a few good shots. So it's just a instinctual thing that he does. And I think Kelvin would definitely do well to put on the pressure here and start letting the hands go. So how these guys win? For Kelvin Gastelum, he's got decent hands, really nice counters, got a granite chin, fast hand speed for a 185er. He's got decent get-ups, and does have good sprawl at range, but chain wrestling, probably his kryptonite. Also, he's got good cardio, underrated cardio. For Ian Heinisch, he's got a solid chin as well. He's got good get-ups, good scrambles as well. It's hard to keep him down. Like, you can't really give him an inch on the ground, or else he'll find a way to get back to his feet. Also, he does fight through fatigue well. Like, you can tell he gets tired in fights, but he's very good at hiding it and pushing a pace. He's a very tough guy as well, so yeah. So how these guys lose? I got a few more for Kelvin, sorry, that I do for Heinisch, just because I think there's more tape on Kelvin, sorry. But yeah, Kelvin, he can get controlled on the fence pretty easily, which is something Heinisch should definitely look at in this one, because he has been known to control the fence clinch himself, so definitely something to look at. Really doesn't look for underhooks, doesn't hand fight very often. So yeah, he doesn't really look for his own offense on the fence. I'm not sure what he does, or why he just accepts that position so easily. But yeah, it's definitely a hole in his game. Also, he's got poor fight IQ in the grappling. I'd say on the feet, makes reads pretty quickly, but in the grappling, he tends to do some stupid shit, and it makes him lose fights. Poor decision making, like clinching Jacare in their fight, shooting on Izzy when he had Izzy rocked, and then engaging with the leg locks with Jacare. I think he just overrates his grappling a little bit, and yeah, he should probably just be smart and just disengage there. But also just the lack of discipline, in my opinion, from not making weight as a 170 pounder. Like, he's definitely able to make that weight. Like, you're not a 185er. You really should have that weight under control as a 170er, and you wouldn't be in this situation where you have to fight these big guys. It's just a lack of discipline there. Like, really, he could probably make 155 if he really slimmed down. But yeah, it's just something I don't like betting on guys with, that type of discipline, because obviously he's like a great fighter and he is very tough. But like, just that, I just don't like, yeah, because does he train extra hard? Like, will he make the extra effort in training to push himself to the next level? Who knows? Because yeah, it's just a simple thing that you can get under control, and he hasn't seemed to got it under control in his career so far. He still has a tough weight cut at 185. Like, that shouldn't be happening. For Ian Heinisch, he can be controlled in the clinch as well, as we talked about with Kelvin, and his hands low pretty much at all times, so he can be hit clean, which is something you don't want to do against Kelvin. Path to victory for these two. For KG, just sprawl and brawl. Also, if he's going to close the distance recklessly with his hands low, just go for that hard 2, one of your best shots. If he tries to kick at range, if he throws out a non-setup kick, just punish him for that, throw the hard 2 as well. Also, if he's going to throw that overhand without setting it up, throw that right hook just to counter it, or a 2-3 after he throws it, because yeah, you'll be able to definitely beat him in hand speed and beat him to the punch there. For Ian Heinisch, probably just try and control the clinch on the fence, leg kicks at distance, try and get the fight to the ground. Just try and pressure him, set up that takedown. But yeah, in my opinion, Kelvin should easily win this fight. I think Heinisch is very basic in the stand-up, and he's not a wrestling beast. Like, he's not gonna double leg you across the cage and take you down. I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to take Kelvin down for a long period of time. But yeah, so I think this is just a really good matchup for Kelvin. I think he wins pretty easily. Maybe even knocks him out coming in. But Heinisch, really good chin, really tough dude, probably gets a decision. But yeah, I don't like betting on Kelvin, especially at that price. When that lack of discipline and the fight IQ that we talked about before are just major red flags for me. So I don't really like betting him at this price, but we'll have a look at the lines. So the prediction is Kelvin Gastelum by decision. I think this line's fine. Like, this line is probably where it should be. Maybe even a little higher for lower for Gastelum, but I wouldn't be betting him at this price. I just don't trust him enough with my money to bet him as that much of a big favourite. This probably goes to the decision, but yeah, I don't really want to bet this one.